What's going on, babe?
Hey babe, how was your day?
It was actually pretty productive. Happy to be home.
Good. You know we got a game today. Honey, you're a little rough around the edges.
I'm saying I've been working all night, taking care of business, getting to the. You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. I got you. I'm not trying to be out here looking like a dusty, and that's why I'm excited to have T. Chanley as a sponsor of today's video. They help me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which come with all of the basics: a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My favorite part about Teach Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teach Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price and the ability to customize your box. And because Teach Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description. You'll get 30% off your first box plus a free gift. Click the link and get started today. We're taking care of ourselves. Self-care, fellas, is the first step to be able to get to that bag, to take care of business, and be on top of things and level up in every aspect of your life. Feel the Teach, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. It's Monday, July 25th, 2022. And it's awesome. It's sunny outside. Life is good. I know it could be better for a lot of us. You know, you can always look at somebody else's situation and say, hey, you know, it could be better. Or you can compare yourself and say, hey, you know, I'm not where I should be, or I should do this and I should do that. But ultimately, it's a good day. Don't you think? No? What's going on, chat? Let me go ahead and do this throwback. First of all, shout out to Teach Hanley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Make sure y'all tap in and get that Teach pack. What's going on, friends? I see you, little black duck. Florida boy, Stephen Day, Kojak. All of my friends is in the building. Shout out to all of the bag chasers. I know the Patreon exclusive is a little late, but it will drop today after this live stream. It is done. It is uploaded. I have to put together the cover photo, but it is absolutely up and it is popping. So I will drop that in the Patreon right after this live stream. So shout out to all of the bag chasers. I also posted a couple of things in the Discord. I see somebody in the chat was saying that, what's up, beautiful disaster? I see somebody in the chat said Anton challenged me. That was in the Discord. So if you are a part of the bag chasers, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. If you are a part of the bag chasers, then you also know that I participate in the Discord. And even if I'm not typing that particular day, I am paying attention to what's going on. So we have to finish the business plan so that we can get into the building that we're looking to get into as far as the building your business and all of that other type of stuff. So some of y'all is a little slacking, but I need y'all to pick up the slack, or else I'm going to just go ahead and pick it up myself and do it. And then I'll just show you what I did. I know y'all would prefer that, but you learn better by participating. So if you are in the bag chasers, make sure you tap into the Discord and then, you know, get what you need to get out of it. You know, it's so many different things. Mastermind sessions, videos. Start at the bottom. I didn't put all of those videos and stuff together and go through all of that hard work as far as using my own experience to make sure that you get all of the insight and information just for you to join it and be a part of the crew. I want you to actually level up so you can contribute. I want you to be a part of the bag chasers. I want you to be a bag chaser. I want you to catch the bag and then start chasing bigger bags and then catch that bag on top of it. You know what I'm saying? So participate. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat for the bag chasers. We doing some awesome things. Patreon exclusive video dropping a day. And then I have the updated link for the next build a business thing. And then also this week, I am dropping the next location for where the meetup is going to be. I am dropping the next location for the meetup. New York was fire. Dropping the next location and the next location for the meetup, the Patreon exclusive meetup. So that's gonna absolutely be awesome. And everything is awesome. So again, link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And if you need to kick it with me personally, email me at Anton Daniels 413 at gmail.com so I can make sure that I put you in my schedule and we can kick it. All right, family. We getting back to the money, right? It was accountability week last week. This week, we bag chasing this week. But I want to give you some information this week. We're going to deep dive on multiple days into a lot of different conversations. And I want to teach you and I want to help you to understand on how you need to look at things more effectively so that you can then make the decisions that you need to make in order to level up, right? And so I wanted to start this week off with a question. And the question is, are you poor, middle class? I'm going to throw one in there. I'm going to throw a couple of extra in there because, as far as the title of the video, they only give you a limited amount of space. Are you poor? Are you middle class? Are you solidly middle class? Are you upper class? And then are you rich? I'm going to say it one more time. We're going to slice this and dice this. Once I get cooking, I get cooking. Are you poor? Living in poverty? Are you middle class? You consider yourself between a specific range that you're thriving or that you're surviving. Are you upper middle class? So you just on the cusp of really breaking through. Are you upper class? And then are you rich? All right. So we're going to slice and dice this thing around because there's never been a better opportunity for you to level up, become the best version of yourself, and make sure that you truly get out of this thing what you're supposed to get. So the cadence of the show is that I'm going to share with you what's going on in the economy. I'm going to break down exactly what I'm talking about as far as the subject of this video. And then last but certainly not least, we're going to go into a video that breaks down how other people are making money across the country, spending their budget. And then I'm going to give my thoughts on it and I'm going to react to it in real time. So make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, especially if you're restreaming this or you're watching it live. Likes are free. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. And then finally, make sure you join the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. So let me share with you this article, right? And I was trying to debate between one article or another. But I'm going to share with you this article really quickly. And it's courtesy of Yahoo via the New York Times, right? And let me just make that a little bit smaller. And so it says, when a woman's retirement account becomes the family emergency fund. When a woman's retirement account, and we're going to use this to leapfrog into the subject. So this is a teaching opportunity. Make sure you get your pen and paper, or you can just listen intently. You don't even have to get a pen and paper. Just focus, listen to what I'm saying. Have the conversation back and forth with me in your mind, because that's how I learned when I was in academia. And let's have a conversation. So it says, when a woman's retirement account becomes the family emergency fund. What does that mean? All right, well, let's deep dive into it. Says Vicky Elisa was already playing catch up with her retirement fund when she withdrew $17,000 to fix a plumbing disaster in her Atlanta area home. I'm gonna get to the super chat shortly. Thank you, Emmanuel, for the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. Says she was already playing catch up with her retirement fund when she withdrew $17,000 to fix a plumbing disaster in her Atlanta area home. Now, the first question that I have for you guys is, how many of you have enough money liquid? And I'm not talking about withdrawing from your retirement. I'm not talking about taking from getting your refinancing your home and all of that. When I say liquid, I mean your ability to get to that money within 5 to 7 business days. How many people have $17,000 in her instance to really be able to tackle something if they needed to? Because I know for a fact, according to the U.S. Census and my own insight and information, that the majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck. The majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck. How many people have $17,000 liquid? I don't believe that you should just have $17,000 in cash sitting around, but how many of you can get to that within 5 to 7 business days? Let's continue. The bleeding from that Roth individual retirement account, that Roth IRA, which I'm an advocate for, had started 4 years earlier when Elisa, who is now 64, tapped into it to help a relative pay some legal bills. Shout out to Ray Ray getting caught up and arrested, and now she got to put up her money in order to bond him out and pay for the lawyer. By the end of 2018, after she paid some penalties for early withdrawals, her account balance had dwindled to $2,500. So, key words here: penalties for early withdrawals. One thing that I never did, ever, even when I was at my lowest, even when 2008 hit, I said that we just gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out. I give up every car. I will go and live in my mom's basement. I will do whatever it is that I have to do, but I will not touch those accounts at all. It was the best decision that I've ever made. As a matter of fact, in my mind, it didn't even exist, right? Because to an extent, the idea behind it is that it's not there. It does not exist. Once I put the money into it, I cannot take it out. It is there for a reason. It has to continue to multiply and exponentially grow so that it can become a nest egg that then feeds into my net worth. Everything came back. The market came roaring back. Everybody that pulled out of it, they regretted it. And it was just a bad situation for a lot of people. They don't even know how much money they left on the table as a result of leaning into this thing. She had $2,500. So she says replenishing it has been an uphill battle. I told myself once I built up a pretty good cash flow, I could start building it back up again. Who was retired? She says she's retired as a director of marketing and business development at DeKalb County Board of Health last year of that year. So she retired. This is a woman that retired, and in her Roth IRA only had the equivalent of what, $20,000 in it. I dropped in the Discord today in the Patreon. I said, yo, do you know that the average retirement account only has like $65,000 in it? The average American, we talking about the richest country on earth. The country where you can be anything you want, do anything you want, you can be whatever you want, you can even change your gender. People are regularly making 67, 100, 150, all of this other type of money, and the average retirement account only has $65,000 into it. Let's continue for a little bit more, and then we're going to really deep dive. She was steered off track by an illness in 2019, then by a bout of C19 last year that resulted in lingering health issues. Now inflation is chipping away at her hopes of seeing her Roth return to its one-time peak of $25,000 while she holds a part-time job. She retired as a director of marketing, and now she has a part-time job, and she says she can't even keep a full tank of gas. Can't even keep a full tank of gas. Elisa could have said no to the relative. She has a 22-year-old daughter to support. What do you mean a 22-year-old daughter to support? A grown woman? You got to support a grown woman? But she, like many women, felt she had to help. What is rich? What is middle class? And what is poor? It's a simple question. Emmanuel says, I have a lot of business meetings this morning. Just stopping by to show some love. I will catch the replay at twice the speed. Keep doing the great work, my brother. Thank you, Emmanuel, for contributing to the coffers and supporting the show. I love you. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for rocking out with me. I absolutely love that you continue to support the show, and you've been rocking with me a long time. Been coaching Emmanuel up, all of that, right? The question then becomes, what is rich? What is middle class? And what is poor? I'm going to show you what Pew Research defines as individual, as rich, middle class, and poor. Okay, I'm gonna share with you my screen really quickly, and then we're gonna have a deep conversation. All right, we're gonna break this all the way down. So, according to Pew Research, well, we can go down like this. And I'm gonna give you all the breakdown. Pew Research defines middle class income as those whose annual household income is 2/3 to double the national median. Let me say that again. 2/3 to double the national median, adjusted for the local cost of living and household size. So for a family of three, and this is what middle class income is. For a family of three, that ranges from $52,000 a year to $156,000 a year. So this is what it's defining as middle class. Now, I will tell you that the difference between $52,000 a year and $156,000 a year is vast. It is very, very vast. The difference between $52,000 a year and $156,000 a year is it's a gulf. It's a gulf. When 2008 incomes used in a Pew study were adjusted for inflation from 2018 to 2021, the lowest income group earned less than $48,000 a year for a family of three, while the highest income households had incomes topping $145,000 and $2,008, which obviously they adjusted for 2021. If those numbers have your head spinning, here's a breakdown of the income and class for a family of three based off of the Pew research, okay? So let's look at this. According to this, and let's be clear, because let's throw away this whole mindset shift of everybody saying, well, the average man and the average household and the average woman make $40,000 to $47,000 a year. This is saying for a family of three, you are broke if you make $52,000 a year. For a family of three, this is saying you are in poverty if you make less than $52,200 a year. I didn't say it. The Pew Research study said it. They used information from the census data. They projected it out to 2021. So we ain't even in 2022 yet, where inflation has been killing you. You can't get a tank of gas, and it's at an annual adjusted basis of 9.1% inflation. Now there is studies, and I'm gonna break this down later on in the week, about how it's actually working. Them and the Fed raising rates is actually having a positive effect on what's going on in the economy, but we're going to break that down later, okay? But this is basically saying if you make less than $52,000 a year and you got three people, you are in poverty. And I believe that the number should be higher. I believe that you're in poverty with even more than that as a household income. You poor, according to the Pew Research study. Okay, middle income $52,200 to $156,600, and that's why you have to add the context. And you say, hey, what is lower middle class or middle class, and what is upper middle class? And this is saying that it's 52,000 to 156. Okay, upper income is above 156 600. Now I won't say that's rich. I would say that that's upper middle class in a lot of people's minds. Okay, so let's use these numbers. Let's remember these numbers. Okay, 52,000. And then 52 to 156, and then 156 is above. All right. Those are the numbers that they provided us. All right. So when we take that into consideration, let's ask ourselves, do we truly understand how money works and what is middle class? What is rich? What is poor? Do we truly understand it, and does it make sense? All right. I'm trying to stay as calm as possible because I think that this is a national emergency and that my people suffer and they perish for a lack of knowledge. And so I'm here to educate you. I'm here to have a conversation. This is not a popular conversation, right? Accountability Week was popping. This is not a popular conversation, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice for those that are actually trying to do the work and trying to level up, because I want to give you some insight and information on how you can become the best version of yourself. So let's break it down, right? Let's say, for example, you make $52,000 a year You're not even in the conversation. You're not even in, unless you are a college student, unless you leveling up, unless you really, really pared back what your lifestyle is so that you then can become the best version of yourself. You're not even in consideration. Don't even say you a high value man. That's not it. Anton is being so mean. No, I'm just dealing with whatever the Pew Research study says. I'm going to give you some additional information. Don't worry about it. I'm going to help you become the best version of yourself. But for now, you're not even a part of the conversation. Okay. Let's say you make $55,000. Woo, I can solidly say I'm in the middle class. Yes. You make $55,000, right? That means that you just on the cusp. You what they got a job. You don't got a job. You got a job. You got a just over broke. You have a just over broke. If you make $55,000 a year, you are just over broke. According to the Pew Research study, I'm going to give my own numbers. Don't worry. My numbers is way bigger than that. But I'm going to give my own numbers. Because the interesting thing about this conversation is that I've lived in every bracket. Within the last 20 years, since I was 20 years old to 40, I've been in every bracket and I know intimately how every one of them feels. So I'm going to break it down, right? So let's say you get up to $100,000 a year. Woo, I'm a high value man. I got the title. I got $100,000 a year. Oh wee. I'm in the higher tax bracket. Let me break down the tax brackets for y'all. I might have to pull that up. Tax brackets. 2000. I think I pulled this. Yep, I was just pulling this up. That's why it popped right up. So let's go to 2022 tax brackets, okay? I'm going to share this with y'all. And then we're going to really deep dive. And then we're going to deep dive hard. So, tax brackets, 2022 tax brackets. Whew, this is going to make some of y'all feel a certain type of way. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. We're going to get you there. 2022 tax brackets for single filers and married couples filing jointly. All right? You are in the 10% tax bracket if you make between $10,000 if you're single. Oh, we got me clutching my pearls. And $20,000 if you're married. If you're married and you're making $20,000 combined, that means y'all out here picking beans and lentils for your job. You're in the 12% tax bracket. Now, this is the sweet spot. Okay. I'm going to tell you, this is the sweet spot. And this is just for people that get it. If you know, you know. You in a 12% tax bracket if you make between $10,000 and $41,000 as a single person. So a lot of y'all that say these modern women, they only make $40,000 a year, they paying 12% taxes. Cool. We know that, right? And then 20 to 83. Now, we already talking about the benefits of being married because as you continue to move up in tax brackets, you save a lot more money if you are married. That's a completely different show, completely different conversation. I might even do that this week. But this is a sweet spot because if you're a married person and you look at things from a business perspective and you own a business and you are part of the Patreon and you're using the videos in order to continue to level up, there's no reason why most of you should not be in between the 20 to 83,000 and only be in the second lowest tax bracket. Donald Trump was in the 10% tax bracket, okay? So there's no reason why we can't legally ensure that we're always, almost perpetually in this $20,000 to $83,000 tax bracket. Well, Anton, what's the finesse? The finesse is you don't need a PPP loan. You ain't got to do unemployment insurance fraud. You ain't got to do none of that. The finesse is to lower your lifestyle. My average costs per month, personally, despite what you see going through my bank accounts, my own personal costs are only less than $1,000 a month. My personal costs, meaning the monies that I have to pay taxes on, and then I give it to the federal government, and then they say, Anton, this is what you have left to buy your own personal expenses or whatever. It's less than $1,000 a month. If you want to know how, you need to join a Patreon. I got a video dropping this afternoon specifically. If you want to know how, then you need to join the Patreon. My personal expenses is less than $1,000 a month. Everything else that I don't do anything unless it's reinvesting back into my businesses. Whole nother conversation. We don't want to talk about it. But this is the sweet spot. My goal every single year, regardless of how much money my companies generate, regardless of what it is that I'm doing from a business perspective, I just showed you my bank account on Friday. My goal every single year is to shoot for a 12% tax bracket as a married man. That's my goal. I'm shooting for being under 83,550 every year. Now, the question becomes, when you start to look at the subject that we're talking about, the question is, are you rich? Are you poor? Or are you middle class? Because a lot of people, for the goal of them, they're trying to get to the 22% tax bracket. That's when they can say, I'm with a high value man. He make at least $84,000 a year. And if he making 125, ooh wee, I got me a high value man. That means that if your adjusted gross income meaning the amount of money that you make on your W-2, let's say you make $100,000 on your W-2, but you reinvest it because you started a new business and you actually trying to make it be profitable within the next 3 years. You reinvested $20,000, $40,000, $30,000 into that business. That means that you are going to go from a 22% tax bracket, which is the equivalent of what? An extra $12,000, $13,000 a year that you give into the federal government, all the way back down to keeping that money in your pocket. So they incentivizing you to actually reinvest in yourself and reinvest in what it is that you're trying to do. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to go into it too deep, Patreon members, bag chasers. I'm focused on adding the value, and I need to get them up to speed before we start getting into the Patreon level content, okay? I'm not going to go into that. But let's just say, for the sake of conversation, right? Shout out to Alaquandria. Alaquandria says, Anton definitely dropping gems. Keep preaching. Thank you, Alaquandria. And you are continuing to level up your self-love. But let's just say, for the sake of conversation, you go from, as a married person, you make $83,052. $83,052. Your friend made $83,050. This is the importance of having a tax strategist. That means that you probably gonna give away an extra $8,000 a year because you made $2 more. This is what I'm saying, a language of money. Being rich is not just what it is that you make. Being rich is a mindset. And when I say that, looking at things from a business perspective, I'm telling you that when I budget my money, I'm not budgeting just for, okay, this is what I got coming in. This is what I got after taxes. This is how we do things. Okay, I need this for fixed expenses, this for variable expenses. Yeah, that video is in the Patreon too. That's to get you up to speed. But when I'm talking about the language of money, when I'm talking about being rich, it's beyond what you make. It's understanding how money works. It's understanding the language of money. You make $2 more, you giving away an extra $8,000 for the year. How you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Because when I'm planning out my year, I'm actually planning out exactly how much I need to reinvest in my businesses, which is why my personal expenses is so low, because I understand that the federal government is going to reward me for reinvesting in the things that I do every single day from a business perspective. So I get to keep more of my money and dedicate it to increasing my net worth while you're giving it to the federal government just to say that you're solidly middle class. We breaking down the difference between being rich, middle class, and poor. Poor people not even in the conversation. Okay, this is a strategy for poor people. I need you to get your money up. All you need to be focused on, fuck the tax brackets, forget all of the riches, forget high value man, forget the YouTube talking points, forget everything. For poor people, I need you to dedicate, if you make less than $50,000 a year, your every waking moment, your calendar, your objective, your goal is to make more money. That's your only strategy. Your strategy is to get a second job, to reinvest in yourself. And I'm not even talking about, hey, you got to make more this year. You have to make sure that you're not accumulating debt because you cannot afford a credit card. You cannot afford a car note. You cannot afford to breathe wrong. You are one financial disaster away from being in a poorhouse and not even being able to have a place to live. Trust me, I've seen it. I've done a lot of homelessness volunteering. if you are making less than $50,000 a year, I don't care what they tell you is average. Your goal is to get a bigger shovel. That's it. Your only goal, if you're making less than $50,000 a year, I don't care if you're married, I don't care if you have kids, your goal is to make more money. That's the only thing that you and I have to talk about, is the fact that you need to get your bags up. Okay? Okay, pumpkin? And again, that don't necessarily mean you might be a 21 to 22-year-old, you might be a 28-year-old, 29-year-old, 30-year-old, and you going back to school. Cool. Lower your expenses. Don't take on no debt. Figure out how you, because that's reinvesting in yourself, right? Now you want to become a software engineer. Now you got a different perspective. You want to become cybersecurity. You want to get government clearances. You want to get these contracts. You're reinvesting in yourself, and that's fine. As long as you're doing it legally, make more money so that you can make more later. You've taken 2 steps back so you can take 10 steps forward. We cool with that, okay? Now, if you make more than that and you are lower middle class, or you are middle class, or you consider yourself upper middle class, this conversation is for you. You can keep it, and I'm not talking about finessing. I'm not talking about cheating. I'm talking about legally understanding that the difference between you giving an extra $8,000 a year away is $1. $1. But they're not going to tell you this information. It's $1. Literally $1. You could have contributed that to your 401k and got that taken. You could have saved yourself $8,000 by contributing an extra $2 into your 401k. Think about that. Let's slice and dice. Let's cook. Okay, cool. From 83 to 178, you jump to 22%. And then it just progresses and it just becomes more egregious from there on out, right? From 178 to 340 combined. Now we're talking about married. I always look at the last slot, because that's the slot that mostly pertains to me. Tax, married, filing jointly. Okay. If you're single, right, and you just jump straight into the 22% tax bracket just by making $41,000 a year, fam, that's egregious. You telling me that you jump to the 22% tax bracket just by making $41,776 a year? Oh my God. If you make $42,000 a year, you paying 22%? You're paying a 22% tax rate when a person that's making $339,000 a year is only paying a 24% tax rate. This is why it's important to understand the language of money. Ali G says, I'm going back to nursing school at 37. Should I stop? No, you should not stop. Go back to nursing school. Get that bag. Because I see you up on that nag on that picture. Get that bag. Don't stop. Go to nursing school. Get a career. Okay. 32% is, and this is when it jumps up another 8%, from 24 to 32%. The overwhelming majority of the people that pay the taxes in this country is the top 5%. Okay. From, if you're making 170 to 215, or if you're married, 340 to 431, you're paying 32%. 35% is 215 to 539. Jesus Christ. 35% taxes. And if you're married, it's 431 to 647, and then you fucked if you in the 37% tax bracket. 539 as an individual and 647 if you married filing jointly. Okay. So let's put this in perspective, because a lot of people can't even truly fathom the idea of making $600,000 a year, $100,000 a month, whatever, right? They can't even fathom it. And as a person that's been through it, and as a person that understands exactly what it feels like to be poor, what it feels like to be middle class, to be solidly middle class, and then to be rich, I'm going to break down what my personal opinion is as far as what I believe is solidly middle class, poor, or rich. Now, if you are easily offended, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and turn your volume off. Don't turn the video off. Turn the volume off, because I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to tell you how you feel. I'm going to tell you the truth. And the truth comes from, shout out to Javor's Lee. Javor says, Anton, what would you suggest someone do to become better educated about how money works? outside of watching you and joining the Bag Chasers. Links in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. What I would suggest you do, honestly, outside of, well, first of all, there is no outside of the Bag Chasers. First, I would suggest you get intimately connected with the people that talk about money, right? First, you got to change it. It's everything you do, everything I think of, everything I read. When I wake up in the morning after I pray and I check my calendar, first thing that I'm looking at, I'm like not looking at the Shade Room. I'm not looking at Spiritual World. I don't know how they got that name. Is I'm checking the markets. I'm checking Bloomberg. I'm checking Market Watch. I'm checking the Wall Street Journal. I'm checking for. I want to see what Entrepreneur Magazine is looking at. When I'm riding in the car, I don't always listen to music. I listen to podcasts and things that feed into me. I eat, sleep, breathe money, and then you just instinctively start to pull from certain sources. And so when you look at certain things, you like, oh man, subconsciously you just automatically know what's going on. When I don't really watch TV, I read books in my spare time. Right? But more importantly, I surround myself with people that like to talk about money. That's why I created this group of people, not just for you to be able to go in and look at the videos, but for you to discuss the different things that come along. Look, when y'all on these panels and y'all having conversations about modern women for the first 4 hours, my people is in the back in the Discord having their own live stream talking about government contracts, money, and then specific career changes in which they're paying this, that, and so. You have to consume. Your life should be consumed with the things that's adding the most value into you, right? So let me tell you, I'm going to break it down. Again, clutch your pearls. Please don't get offended. If you are easily offended, especially when you're talking about money, politics, or religion, you might want to turn your volume down a little bit, but just keep it up a little bit so I can pierce that heart. I'm going to break down from first person exactly what it means to be poor, middle class, upper middle class, and then rich. All right? So let's start at square one. I believe that poverty in 2022 and going forward, considering inflation, considering a certain economic state, considering the prices that we're dealing with on a regular basis, poverty starts at less than $70,000 a year. I know. I'm so sorry. I did not want to be the one to break this to you. Why was I not selected? I was selected for the Bone Boost Glow. New Yeezy slides came out. If you make less than $70,000 a year, you are broke. Most people making less than $100,000 a year is living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm going to add the context, right? Because after I break down the amounts, I'm also going to add into this conversation. Anton, you so out of touch. I'm also going to add into the conversation the whole idea behind net worth. And then I'm going to combine it so that you truly understand that it's not just about how much money you make, but it's about how much money you keep. Okay? $70,000 a year, you don't have a big enough shovel. You have enough to survive. You can go out with your friends, but you are one disaster away from losing everything. Especially if you live in a place where you have to drive. If you live in a major city, you can make some adjustments. When you have to compromise what it is that you do on a daily basis in order to ensure that you can level up, that's poor. It's poor. Are most people poor? Yes. Because most people don't understand the language of money. All right, so let's continue. Shout out to us Spaces says, tell her to check that nurse video in the Patreon. The nurse video is in the Patreon where I actually brought people up on a panel, 3 different guys, and they were discussing with me, and it's a Patreon exclusive video. It was live streamed for Patreon members specifically. And they were talking specifically about nursing and what their careers are like, how long it took them to get into it. It's so much content inside of the Patreon from real people that break down specific questions from you, the users, on how you can become the best version of yourself. Check the nursing video inside of the Patreon. It's dope. People that I really know in real life that I coach, and they telling you how much they make a year, and it's insane. Anyways, I think that lower middle class is anywhere between 70 to 100. lower middle class, or just middle class, let's just say basic middle class, is anywhere from $70,000 a year to 100. I want me a high value man at $100,000 a year. I did a video on that a while ago, some months ago, and I said, listen, high value is not 100,000. You got to be making at least $250,000 for a continuous basis for an extended period of time for you to be able to have that conversation. High value is not 100,000. The average person that's making $100,000 a year is living paycheck to paycheck. Well, Anton, what are they doing with their money? We're going to discuss it. We're going to break it down. Don't worry about it. 70 to 100 is basic. You just a basic B. I don't even want to say the word. You just a basic B. 70 to 100 is basic. When I made less than $70,000 a year, and I'm talking about combined, right? I'm not talking about just at a job. I'm talking about your business, your job, your hustle, or whatever, so on and so forth. I had to compromise. I had to see what I could qualify for. I had to continue to try to push, continue to try to work. I had to manage debt. I couldn't really get no credit cards. It wasn't even about credit cards. I had to make sure that my insurance and my checking and my savings was aligned and that I had to pay my insurance. You know what I'm saying? And you have to make very, very strategic. Matter of fact, at $70,000, I wouldn't even say get any bills. Just buy what you can afford and make sure you stack the majority of your money. Okay? From 70 to 100, I had a little bit more wiggle room. It's all right, we ready to break out. It's time to move on up. It's time to get a different place. I got to make sure that I got some space for my daughter, so on and so forth, right? From 100, I would say to about 180. That's when I would say you are upper middle class. From 100 till about 180, you're about up. I would even say 100 to 200. 100 to 200, you are upper middle class. That is when you got some space to really be able to make some moves, right? You then have the ability to be able to afford to purchase a home, and you ain't got to compete with a bunch of people that are flush with cash. I mean, y'all, think about this. There are people that make in a month what you may make in a year. There are people that make in a month. I paid $40,000 just for this watch. Just for the watch, I paid $40,000. Didn't even blink. The dealer called me, hey, Anton, you want to come and pick this up? I got your watch in that you ordered. Cool. I ordered it 8 months ago. I went and picked it up. And you know what the beauty about it is how money works is that once you start getting money and you start spending it appropriately, this watch is actually appreciated with me wearing it on my wrist significantly. As a matter of fact, this watch has appreciated over 20% since I bought it and since I started wearing it. There's people that make what you think is average, they wear it on a wrist. I'm just telling you the truth of how, and it's a lot of people getting money. Real talk. This is not a lot of money. Let's continue. So 100 to 200, you can start breaking out and making some moves. That's when you can start taking your chick out to dinner. You ain't always got a budget for it. You ain't got to tell a chick, hey, I'm going Dutch with you. You can start moving a little bit differently, so on and so forth, right? And this is not to rag on anybody because, again, I think that everybody is dope that's doing it legally, but this is to motivate you and give you some insight on how you start to feel once you break into certain tax brackets. When you make I would say when you first get into the 100K club, it's almost like a milestone moment, right? It's like, yes, I feel like I finally made it. But then once you start living your life, you realize that your life is still not that much different than what other people are, because now you start to get some wiggle room to be able to contribute it into your retirement. Because once you pass, think about it. Let's go back to this real quick. I'm going to show y'all. Let's go back to this really quickly, right? When you make an 80, you like, cool, I'm doing okay, I'm winning. 100,000 is usually a milestone for most people. But then $100,000 puts you in a higher tax bracket. So first of all, you giving half of what you've gained back to the federal government, so they won't have, so you're really only making an extra $10,000 a year. Let's talk about it, y'all, because I really want y'all to understand how money works. You're really only making an extra $10,000 a year if you're making $100,000 from 80. You're not living that much different from the dude that if you make 100 and he make 80, y'all both in the same fucking boat. If you make 100 and he makes 80, y'all are in the same boat. That's 100% true. I am not making it. You are in the same boat. You got to give, you in a higher tax bracket, you got to give half of that additional growth over into the federal government. But then you upgrade your lifestyle so you get a slightly better car. So instead of you getting a Ford Explorer, you decide to get a BMW 3 Series. That car is still fucking small. I mean, it's a BMW. It's cool. But you're not living any different, but you're paying more insurance, right? You're paying more when it comes to your car note. All of your gains is lost by one little trinket that you got differently. So then I would say, okay, cool. You still need to live the same. Don't get a different car, but instead contribute, max out. Now you start maxing out. This is when you start to making moves. And this is why when I say when you get to that $100,000 to $200,000 range, you can start making some moves because you still in the same boat as the 80. You're going to be in the same boat as the 80 either way. But instead of giving that money to the federal government, now you want to max out on your 401k so that you're in the same tax bracket as the 80, but you still having your money make more money for you. And that's when you can start to make some moves when it comes to your net worth. Instead of giving it to the federal government just so you can get a little smaller of a trinket, a slightly bigger trinket, you want to max out and get at $20,000 to your 401k because what it does is it reduces your tax liability and it puts you back in that same bracket as the dude that was making. Now you back in a 12% tax bracket instead of being in a 24% tax bracket. Instead of being in a 22% tax bracket, you in a 12 tax bracket. This is the game. It's a numbers game. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you can put into your assets that will then make you more money. So think about this. Now I'm not giving the federal government another $10,000. I'm not going to be living any different anyway. And I'm not sure if your father, your mother, anybody that's ever been associated with you broke it down like this, right? Now, what truly happens is you start seeing them numbers when you go to your net benefits and your Fidelity and your Charles Schwab and all of that other type of stuff. You're seeing your money multiply. You're getting the tax benefits and you're seeing your money multiply. Now, let me tell you what the next finesse is. You go to 100,000 to 200,000, right? You still middle class. You still solidly middle class, right? You go from 100,000 to 200,000. Now, this is the next move. Now, I don't have any of the same benefits because I can't just give $20,000 into the 401k and then reduce myself back into that $80,000 tax bracket, right? So the finesse is, this is the finesse. This is the move. Now, this is when I have to start looking at real estate. I have to start looking at businesses. And because I know that I have to get rid of the money, I want to still reduce my lifestyle. I want to get rid of all of the debt. This is when you got the opportunity to get rid of the debt. You don't change anything. You get rid of the student loans. And this is why I say, hey, stay down for 10 years. You can still have fun. Listen, you can still take trips. Just don't go to fucking Bora Bora. Take that road trip, chill, hang out, chill with your friends, split it, do the weekend trip, do a round trip, have some fun. Don't even go and do no flights and none of that. Just be chilling. You ain't got to, bro, you can live like a king because fun is what you make it. It's not necessarily how you travel. I'm going to get into the upper class in a minute. Give me a second. I'm cooking. But this is what you do when you go from 100 to 2. Now, when you get to 200, this is when you start moving when it comes to paying off your debt. Get rid of the debt. Get rid of it. Because you know what the return is and how much you're paying in order to service the loan. Get rid of the debt. That's A. B, you have to open a business. What's up, Les? You have to start investing in real estate because you need to get rid of the money. You still trying to get into a lower tax bracket, so you got to get rid of the money. The more money you keep, the more money you got to give to the federal government. The more money you invest, the higher your net worth is and more money you keep. You see how the game works? So now I'm investing and I'm slapping and I'm slapping and I'm investing because the goal is to long term have my assets pay for my lifestyle. You don't use the money that you have to pay taxes on that you go to work for every day to pay for your lifestyle. You use that money to fund your investment. So now you considering yourself upper class, but you don't change your lifestyle yet, right? You're paying off the debt. So now you got more wiggle room. You investing in the businesses. And then let me tell you what the other finesse is. You switch from a 401k, and I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not telling y'all what to do. I'm just telling you how I lived my life. You switch from a regular 401k to a Roth 401k. Now, Anton, what's the difference? Why would I pay taxes when I'm starting to get rid of the money? Well, that's why you start the business, because then you turn your hobbies into a business, which then allows for you to be able to write off the things that you're doing on a regular basis from a business perspective, legally. You switch from a 401k to a Roth 401k because then you want to pay the taxes ahead of time because you're generating enough revenue and income to not only lower your tax bracket, but you're generating enough revenue and income to take the hit from a tax perspective ahead of time so that your investments are now growing tax-free. Your regular 401k is the thing that you take that so you don't have to pay as much taxes up front. But when you really start getting to the bag, you take the hit up front because you got the businesses in order to make sure that you lower your tax burden. But now you take the hit from a financial perspective from your regular job. You still contributing the same amount, but you're taking a tax hit ahead of time because you can afford to. Now, when you putting that $20,500 or $40,500 up for you and your spouse because you're married, that money, no matter what it grows to, it can grow to $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, based off of what you contributed on an annual basis. And you know what happens? You never pay taxes on that money ever again, no matter what it grows to. If you can afford to switch from a regular 401k, that's the basics, to a Roth 401k, and you take the hit ahead of time, you can really start to maneuver. Your net worth is going to be incredible. Now, the benefits of that is you're still getting whatever the match is from your job into a regular 401k. Am I going too much? Am I going too fast for y'all? You're still getting the regular contribution as far as the match in the 401ks, but you're getting your Roth funded, which allows for you to take the hit now. So you don't have a lot of what we doing today. I'm gonna just be honest with you. A lot of what we doing today is that we are in this space where we need instant gratification. So even when you contribute into your retirement, you're like, skip that. I ain't giving them no extra taxes. But what about the back end? The richer you get, the more you start focusing on the back end. Entertainers, as they become greater, they don't focus on give me my money now. They focused on what am I going to get on the back end. It's the back end that matters. When you get to corporate America and you start really getting that bag, and a lot of y'all seen what my W-2 was from last year, just from the last 3 months of working in this corporate environment, you don't negotiate for what your base salary can be. You negotiate for what you get on the back end. You working for the bonuses. You working for the equity. You working for the stock options. You working for that. Everything becomes the back end because what you start to understand is that you don't even want the cash no more. You just want the net worth, which is then what we start to transition into when we talking about being rich. See, being rich has nothing to do with lifestyle. Being rich has everything to do with understanding how money works and then moving appropriately, which is when we start to come into net worth. See, poor people worry about their bills. Middle class people, lower middle class people worry about their taxes. Upper middle class people worry about starting to leverage assets. And then rich people start to worry about net worth. Let me say that for y'all one more time for the people that missed it in the back and don't want to restream it. Poor people worry about surviving. Yo, I just got to get by. Biden, please forgive my student loans. How is it that I can become a better person? I need a new career. My back fucking hurt. I'm tired of doing construction, and I don't know how long I can do this because my hip need a replacement, and I ain't got no insurance. Biden, I'm voting black. I'm voting liberal again. What you gonna do for me? Freaking Jason. That's what poor people do. 70,000 and less, you in that boat. This is my own personal experiences. Okay? 70,000 or less, you in that boat. Let's say you get solidly middle class, 100 to 2. 100 to 2. 100 start worrying about their lifestyle, but what they should start worrying about is their taxes. Okay? If you make 100, if you jump from 75 to 100 in some miraculous way, you decided you wanted to join the Bag Chasers, Anton from AntonDaniels.com, you booked a coaching call, you on a Patreon, you leveling up, you made more money. A lot of y'all tap in and say, Anton, I'm making $60,000 more a year. I doubled my income. I got a lot of y'all tap in. We do the phone calls. Y'all jump in and all of that, right? Let's say you jump from 75 to 100. You worried about your taxes, and you should be, because you jump from 12% to 22%. You jump from 12% to 22%. Okay, let me get off here. Let me get myself on a big screen. You worried about your taxes. You get to the $200,000 range, you worried about starting to buy assets. Hey, I need to buy a home. Hey, I need to start investing in my 401k. I need to make sure that I'm maxing out every year. What is my tax liability? We need to start a business. Let's make more income. You start to move a little bit differently. You got some wiggle room, right? If you're smart, you're not adjusting your lifestyle according to your income. You're adjusting your income to what it is that you're trying to buy from an asset perspective. And then let's talk about that last bracket, right? Because listen, I'm not even going to talk about Bill. I have not lived life as a billionaire. I am not 100 millionaire. I cannot speak to it. It is not something that I can lean on. It's something that I have to glean from as far as another article. I'm telling you about what my life is today. Today. Break it down one more time. 70, survival. 100, taxes. 200, assets. What is above 250? 250 and above. Let's just say 250 and above, right? 250 and above annual income. Let me get to some of these super chats really quickly. Brock says, passing a collection plate, passer is preaching. Shout out to y'all. Mr. Yabro says, you're preaching, sir. They don't want to talk about finances. They don't want to talk about money. Shout out to Brock says, money talk is why we come to the morning show every day. Damn, appreciate you so much, bro. For real, for real. Get the likes up. It's free. Y'all, get my likes up. Get my likes up, y'all. Let's get the likes up. Persevere Data TV says, facts, when I got my first position making 100K, I thought I was Ric Flair. Lessons learned. I'm telling y'all, people that's used to making $100,000 a year will tell you that 100,000 ain't what it used to be. It ain't what y'all think it is. 100,000 is not racking it up. The likes is anemic, y'all. We got a lot of people in here, and I only see this many likes. Please, can y'all turn my likes up, please? I can't do this. Not with the likes like this. I worked out today. I got up early this morning. I prayed. I got that Teej pack. Look at this. Look at the Teej. Feel the Teej. Beard is on fleek. I'm feeling good. Head is always shaved. I'm fly. I got my Versace glasses on. I got my Rolex popping. And I'm over here teaching y'all everything that your father should have taught you. And you going to have my likes anemic? Okay. Well, we going to take a minute. Please get my likes up. I don't understand this. It's weird, bro. So weird. I don't understand this, John. We good? All right. Let's talk about being rich, right? The first thing about being rich when you first get there is you don't ever want to go broke again, because you know what it feels like. You know you can never turn back. You can never unsee what you've seen. When you get rich, you can never go broke again, because you don't want to unsee. You can't unsee what you've seen. You've seen the journey, and you know how hard it is to get there. And so everything you do for the first, let's just say 4 to 5 years after you really, really get to the bag, as you just get rid of everything. You get rid of everything. You almost become addicted to success when it comes to looking at the numbers grow. It's really gamification right there. Getting rich is a video game. Once you start getting to that level, when you start busting down over $100,000 a month, for example, I ain't even gonna go that far. I'm gonna go 250 and 250 to 500. If you can make 250 to 500, it's a video game. It's Monopoly in real life. It's the gamification of life. It's you understand how money works, and so now it just becomes, how can I make the numbers do what I want them to do? That's all it is to being rich. It's playing with the numbers. At the beginning of the year, every year, I sit down with my tax strategists, I sit down with my accountants, and we plan. And we look at what the projected revenue is going to be, right? We plan for the low end on projected revenue. We plan for the high end, okay? And this is what happens, right? What we do is, and this is the difference between rich people and poor people and middle class people. This is all it is. This is the summary. If you didn't listen to anything that I said today, listen to this. I feel sorry for some of y'all that's not here. I feel sorry for your friends that didn't tune in because we're not talking about modern women. I feel sorry for the 2 people that dropped off, okay? This is all it is, right? This is the difference between rich people and poor people. At the beginning of the year, let's say that you're being responsible. Thank you, Mr. Yarbrough. I'm going to shout you out special. Give me a second. Let's say that you're being a responsible adult. Just because you're not making a lot of money don't mean that you're not a good person, that you're not responsible. None of that, right? If you ain't listening to nothing, listen to this. And you plan out your money and you say, you know what? I'm bringing in, I don't know, what the fuck? What do they bring in? Huh? I'm bringing in $4,000 a month. Is that accurate after taxes and contributions, insurance? I'm bringing in $4,000 a month. Okay. I'm poor, whatever. And I got to pay my house and my rent. That's $1,200. And I got to pay my car note and my insurance. And this is what I have left over. So I want to use that to attack debt. That's the Dave Ramsey plan, right? The baby steps. The 7 baby steps or whatever it is, the 8 baby steps, the contribution, pay off your debt and all of this other type of stuff. And that's cute. And I like that. And I think that that's awesome, right? The difference between that and how they budget their money and how we budget our money is completely different. So now I'm looking at the numbers and I'm saying, okay, fuck, right? This is what rich people do. They say, fuck. And I know a lot of people that ain't getting it like that. They like, why would you ever say that? That's more money than I could ever think. That's like hitting the lottery. No, they like, fuck. And the reason that they say that is because they saying to themselves, I got to figure out how to get rid of this fucking money so that the government don't take $250,000 out of my pocket. There's no way that I'm giving the government 250 bands. Why would I give them a Maybach? I'm not giving the government a free Maybach after my hard work and I got to get that to them. Fuck you, pay me, because then you're going to take my money and you're going to give it to the people that's running in the Victim Olympics and they still not going to like me. They say, fuck. That's the first thing that I say at the beginning of the year. Shit. What we going to do this year? 3 M's? Well, I got to pay myself $100,000 a year and then we going to, that's what we say. Real talk. And then becomes the gamification. And let me tell you how it works. This is how it works. I say, you know what? I got to get rid of this money. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to reinvest in every single business. What's the housing market look like? Okay, that's overpriced. So we can't spend no money on houses. So we're going to create a new company and we're going to start buying land. We got to get rid of that money. Any money that come in on this side, that all goes towards the land. We're going to buy land. What else we got over there? Okay, so we do got some cribs and we got some partners. We got 2 properties. This is my real life. We got 2 properties that we got to pay off and we all going through the numbers. We spent a whole fucking Saturday at the beginning of the year going through the numbers based off of the projections. Okay, cool. So we do got some properties and we got 2 partners over there. So we're going to buy them out because we got to get rid of that money. We're going to overpay them. We're going to compensate them for being partners with us. We're going to take care of our people. We're going to buy them out. We got some debt over here on these properties. We're going to get rid of all of that. We got to get rid of the money. Where else can we get rid of money at? Huh? We still got more money to get rid of? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do promotion, advertising, and promotion. So what can we do for advertising and promotion? We need to create more visibility. We need to shoot more content. Let's see. We got to get more cameras. We got to get some additional cars over there. So what are we budgeting for cars this year? Because we can shoot a lot of content in cars and we need some more business vehicles in order to transport this stuff anyway. Okay, cool. What kind of cars can we buy? We can buy those. Cool. We're going to get rid of that money. So we still need to fund this. So make sure that you max out on this. Make sure you max out on that. Where else can we invest some money at? We need to get rid of it over there. Okay, so listen. You know what? I think we can sponsor some stuff. I can reach out to the Pistons. We can get in touch with them. We can do some marketing promotion with them. And then we also can get rid of some money as far as making sure that we do some giveaways, courtside seats. We need to do the end of the year, just like we did last year. We did the 12 days of Christmas. Oh, that'd be dope. Marketing, advertisement, it creates more visibility for the company. We reinvest in the content creation. It'd be great for the videos. It'll continue to boost up when we built this new morning show channel because this channel ain't even 2 years old yet. This is what the game is. This is the game. How can we get rid of all of this fucking money that we making on a regular basis? We need more development. We need more content creators. We need more web development companies. We need to invest more in real estate. But this is monopoly in real fucking life. Okay, you know what? But listen, my people are so dope. So I have to make sure that I contribute. So we're going to do build the business. We're going to also, so I'm going to allocate $100,000 to, or $150,000 because it might go over budget. So we're going to do that for building a business for the Patreon members. Cool. Cook that up. All right, what else can we do? Oh, we need to allocate money for travel because we're going to be doing business here. We fly into a different city every single month. We got to fly in order to, do the vetting for the build the business. We got to do the Lapeef Network. We're going to make sure that we buy gifts for the Lapeef Network participants. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're literally budgeting spending money. When you get rich, you have to spend money. How can we get rid of the money? That's the goal. That is the ultimate goal. Let me get to a couple of these super chats. Mr. Yarbrough said this should be Patreon only. Nah, y'all gonna get the real game this afternoon. Don't worry about it. I got y'all Patreon members. Shout out to Irving D. Says, I appreciate what you teach and what you talk about. I joined the Patreon to get a bigger bag. I want to start a business and double my money. What is the link to join the Discord? So if you go to probably any one of the most recent 3 posts on the Patreon, it is a link to the Discord there. It is a link to the Discord in one of the 3 most recent posts on the Patreon. So you just click the link to the Discord. Boom, we there. Shout out to Urban D joining the Patreon. I appreciate you, my friend. Hema says this info is gold. Shh, don't tell him. I'm probably giving away too much information anyway. Razik says they don't get it. You're teaching out of a book. You can't learn this in no book. Can't learn it in no book. Window P says, dude is really out here giving y'all free game. How many YouTubers out there will break everything from a financial perspective? From a C student's perspective too, so I know you understand it. Getting rich isn't hard at all. It's all about the long game. Shout out to Window P. I appreciate you for contributing to the platform, my friend. And then my dog, shout out to Mr. Yarbrough. Mr. Yarbrough say, this is definitely $1 million show. I'm moving to Detroit. I have to connect with you. Yo, hit me up, Mr. Yarbrough. Email me. Email me, Mr. Yarbrough, because I'm actually, and this is what's a part of what it is that we're doing. I haven't even announced this one yet, but I'm building a new studio here in Detroit. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. More details to come. I've been talking about it for an extended period of time. I'm building a new studio here in Detroit. Shout out to Mr. Yarbrough with the 100 ball for supporting the platform and for everybody that continues to contribute to what it is that we're doing here. Listen. I love y'all. And the reason why I continue to contribute to y'all and why I continue to pour into y'all is the same reason that I told JP and all of my people that was rocking with us for J Prince for president yesterday. is because my goal, and I said this on the late night live stream, my goal is to die empty. My goal is to ultimately pour into you guys, and I want to die empty. It's no reason why I should learn this. And God gave me all of these life experiences and taught me all of this stuff and take me through everything that I've been through, the highs, the lows, the failing, the successes. It's no reason why I should do that and then let all of that information die with me. I have too many ideas and so many things. And that's why even when people say this is Patreon only, this is Patreon only, don't worry. Y'all got some heat rocks coming that's insane. So make sure you click the link in the description and make sure you join the Patreon. And then we going to continue to go up from there. I love y'all. I didn't even get to the video, so we can do that tomorrow. But I was cooking. You know what's so funny? You know what the funniest part about it is, Mr. Yarbrough? I didn't even get to half that I wanted to talk about when it comes to being rich, middle class, and poor. So maybe we'll do a part 2 tomorrow. Y'all want to do part 2 tomorrow? Rich, middle class, and poor? Because we could listen. I didn't even get to half of what my thoughts were as far as getting this information out to y'all. Or maybe I'll just do it for the Patreon members. I got to figure that out. I got a 1:00 meeting that I'm late for that I got to do for corporate when everybody was laughing at me saying, Anton, oh, I can't believe you going back to getting a job. Laughing at your ass with your broke ass. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Machismo TV says, well done, sir. I appreciate it, my friend. Also, Sam Don, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you for holding me down. And then again, Mr. Yarbrough, you are awesome, my friend. I love you. I appreciate you. Maybe we'll do a part 2, but make sure that y'all tap into the Patreon today because I am releasing a video specifically about small business, investing in a small business, and exactly how you can build your small business from scratch. It's insane. It's incredible. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And if you need to kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com and we're going to get you booked up for a session. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, but I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Okay, family? Make sure you tell your family and friends. We don't want to be rich by ourselves. Thank you for rocking with me. Getting money and making money and talking about money don't have to be like paint drying up on a wall. It's not hard. It's not difficult. You just need somebody that understands it to break it down from a C student's perspective. And I will be the greatest C student that you guys have ever had. I love you. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all, Bag Chasers. Level up. New website coming probably within the next 2 weeks. Merch, everything. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace. I love y'all, family. Have a phenomenal week.